In August 2025, Washington made a game-changing decision. The U.S. will send 3,350 advanced ERAM cruise missiles to Ukraine. These missiles are designed for long-range strikes, allowing Ukrainian pilots to hit targets from hundreds of kilometers away, well beyond the reach of most Russian air defenses. For Ukraine, this is the capability they've been pleading for, a way to disrupt Russian operations deep behind enemy lines. The move marks a dramatic shift in U.S. policy, signaling a new level of commitment to Ukraine's defense. The ERAMs will be paired with F-16 jets arriving from Europe, transforming Ukraine's air force from a defensive relic into a modern strike force. Until now, Ukrainian pilots risked their lives flying outdated jets against heavily defended Russian positions. With ERAMs, they can launch from safety, targeting supply depots, airfields, and command posts. In Kyiv, there's hope that this will finally tip the balance. In Moscow, there's outrage. Russian officials call it a dangerous escalation and warn of consequences. For soldiers on the ground, the ability to strike from afar could save lives and change the course of battles. The world is watching to see if these new weapons will reshape the war. This decision is not just about hardware, it's about shifting the balance of power in Eastern Europe. The skies over Ukraine may soon look very different. The U.S. approval comes with strict conditions, but the message is clear. Ukraine now has a tool to hit back. The ERAM deal is a signal that the West is ready to help Ukraine move from defense to offense. The psychological impact alone is huge. Ukrainian morale is up, and Russian planners are on edge. This is more than a shipment, it's a strategic turning point. The combination of modern jets and long-range missiles is a game-changer. Ukraine's air force, once outmatched, now has a fighting chance. The decision could alter the tempo and tactics of the entire conflict. As the first missiles arrive, both sides are preparing for a new phase of war. The stakes have never been higher. The world holds its breath as Ukraine's air force prepares for a new dawn. The Russia-Ukraine war has dragged on for over 3 years, evolving from a shocking invasion into a grinding war of attrition. Ukraine's early resilience stunned the world, but the conflict soon bogged down in the east and south, with both sides suffering heavy losses. Western support, money, training, and weapons has been vital for Ukraine's survival. Artillery, tanks, and air defenses helped Ukraine hold ground and launch counterattacks, but Russia still occupies significant territory. The front lines move slowly, with brutal trench warfare reminiscent of World War I. Russia has adapted, mobilizing its economy and digging deep defensive lines. Its advantage: long-range missiles that strike Ukrainian cities and infrastructure far from the front. Ukraine's own long-range arsenal has been limited, leaving it mostly reactive. The arrival of ERAM missiles changes this dynamic. For the first time, Ukraine can strike back at Russian military bases, supply hubs, and command centers deep in occupied territory. This could disrupt Russia's ability to sustain its war effort. Ukrainian leaders argue that only by inflicting real costs on Russia can they hope for victory or a just peace. The ERAMs are seen as the key to finally leveling the playing field. The war remains a struggle for survival, but now Ukraine has a new way to fight back. The balance of power may be about to shift. The world waits to see if this new capability will break the deadlock. The ERAM is a state-of-the-art air-launched cruise missile, essentially a pilotless jet packed with a warhead. Once fired from an aircraft, it navigates to its target using advanced GPS and inertial guidance, delivering pinpoint accuracy from over 500 kilometers away. Its stealthy design and low-altitude flight path make it hard for Russian radars to detect or intercept. ERAMs can carry different warheads, blast fragmentation for buildings, or penetrating warheads for bunkers. This flexibility lets Ukraine target a wide range of high-value Russian assets. The missile's guidance can be updated just before launch, allowing pilots to react to fresh intelligence. Paired with F-16s, the ERAM transforms Ukraine's air force into a modern strike force. It's a leap from Soviet-era jets to Western air power. For Ukraine, this is a technological revolution. The ERAM's range and precision give Ukraine options it never had before. It's not just a weapon, it's a force multiplier. The US is giving Ukraine a taste of the air power that has defined Western dominance for decades. This missile could redefine the battlefield. For the Ukrainian Air Force, it's a new era. The US-approved deal is massive, up to 3,350 ERAMs, worth about $4 billion. This isn't just symbolic, it's a long-term commitment to Ukraine's defense. The cost covers missiles, support equipment, and crucial training for Ukrainian crews. Funding comes from the Ukraine Security Assistance Initiative, pooling resources from the US and its allies. Deliveries will be staggered over 18 to 24 months, with the first 200 missiles arriving in early 2026 alongside new F-16s. American defense contractors must ramp up production, but US military needs take priority. Ukraine's orders can't disrupt US stockpiles. The phased delivery ensures Ukraine gets a steady supply as the war continues. International cooperation is key, sharing the financial and logistical burden. Production delays or global tensions could affect the schedule, but officials are confident the challenge can be met. This is a major logistical and industrial effort. The timeline is ambitious, but the stakes demand it. Ukraine's arsenal is about to get a serious upgrade. The ERAM deal comes with strict conditions. Ukraine cannot use these missiles to strike inside Russia's internationally recognized borders. Every planned strike must be approved by a joint US-Ukrainian oversight committee, ensuring targets are legitimate and within Ukraine's territory. The US retains a direct veto over how these missiles are used, an unprecedented level of oversight. The goal: help Ukraine liberate its land, not provoke a wider war. Washington wants to avoid any action that could trigger direct conflict with Russia, a nuclear power. These restrictions frustrate Ukrainian commanders, who know some of the most valuable Russian targets are just across the border. Still, the ability to hit deep inside occupied Ukraine is a major advantage. The rules are designed to contain the conflict and prevent catastrophic escalation. Ukrainian strategists must prioritize targets for maximum impact within these limits. The balance between power and restraint is delicate, but essential. With ERAMs, Ukraine can finally wage deep strike operations, targeting Russian command centers, ammo dumps, and key logistics far behind the front. This shaping the battlefield approach is classic Western doctrine: weaken the enemy from a distance before ground assaults. The focus will be on occupied territories, especially Crimea and its vital infrastructure like the Kerch Strait Bridge. Destroying Russian air bases and supply lines in Ukraine could cripple Moscow's ability to wage war there. The restrictions mean Russia's factories and bases inside its own borders remain safe. Ukrainian commanders must use their limited missiles wisely, prioritizing targets with the biggest impact. The new strategy is about efficiency, precision, and maximizing every shot. It's a smarter, more modern way to fight. The ERAM deal has sparked strong reactions worldwide. NATO allies cheer the move, seeing it as vital support for Ukraine and a step toward peace through strength. Russia condemns it as reckless escalation, warning of unpredictable consequences and threatening retaliation. Western public opinion is divided. Many support Ukraine, but fear the risk of a wider war. Peace activists and some politicians call for negotiations, worried more weapons will prolong the conflict. Major non-Western powers urge restraint, fearing global instability and economic fallout. The world is split between hope for a Ukrainian breakthrough and anxiety over escalation. The stakes are global and the outcome uncertain. The ERAM deal is a double-edged sword. It gives Ukraine the power to strike deep, potentially breaking the stalemate and saving lives. But the risk of escalation is real. Russia may see US-approved strikes as direct aggression. Retaliation could range from cyber attacks to military action, raising the specter of a wider conflict. There's also the danger of missile technology falling into Russian hands if one is recovered. The Pentagon must weigh these risks every time it shares advanced weapons. Finally, there's the risk of unrealistic expectations. ERAMs are powerful, but not a magic bullet. Victory still depends on Ukrainian resolve and continued Western support. Managing hope and caution is now more important than ever. As ERAMs arrive and Ukrainian pilots train, the big question remains, will this be enough to change the war? The missiles give Ukraine a powerful new tool to disrupt Russian logistics and command in occupied territories, especially Crimea. If used effectively, they could force Russia to rethink its strategy and make its occupation much harder. But the ban on strikes inside Russia means Moscow's core war machine remains untouched. The war of attrition will likely continue, though now on less favorable terms for Russia. ERAMs are a major piece of the puzzle, but not a silver bullet. Their impact depends on smart strategy, skilled pilots, and ongoing Western aid. The world is watching to see if this new weapon can finally tip the balance, or if it's just the next chapter in a long, brutal conflict.